Devon Rucker will jump center for the Washington University Bears, and we are underway. It's great to be young and to be an Emory Eagle. Nick stuck with it, goes right to the hoop, puts it up no good, battles underneath inside, pulled out of there by Nestor, and ahead come the Bears. Nestor now with it, he's their point guard. As I mentioned, he's been injured, but back in the starting lineup today. He's checked by Nick Stuck. Rucker now, top of the key. Nice give and go inside. It was Justin Hardy finding big Hank Hunter inside for an easy 2 points, and the first 2 points of the game go to the Bears. So the Emory Eagles fall behind quickly, 2-zip. Emory coming off that loss to Chicago on Friday night, very disappointing. Here's Rucker with the steal. Not a crisp pass, good anticipation by Rucker. Inside they go now to Hank Hunter. Hunter looking to pass it, backs in on Rowley, gives it up to Nestor in the corner. Nestor looking for somewhere to go, comes up to number 22, Jack Nolan. He's the team's leading scorer. Back it goes to Hardy. He's trying to force one up, barely hits the rim. Hauled out of there brilliantly by Mason Johnson, and here come the Eagles. Mason Johnson, as I mentioned, is averaging over double figures in the last 4 starts. Steal, almost is a steal. And up and in by Nolan. Jack Nolan took the pass, takes it all the way. He's the leading scorer on the team over the course of the season, averaging just a whisker under 18 points per game. And Emory's fallen behind 4-0 quickly. Remember, Emory won in St. Louis 80-67 last weekend. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Around it goes, no good for Nick Stuck. Cleaned out of there by Rucker and ahead to Nestor. Nestor runs the show. He's the point guard, the quarterback of the team. Rucker now around. They go to Nolan. Nolan inside to Hank Hunter, who misfires a close one, gets his own rebound. Comes back out to Nestor for a long ranger, no good. And Lawrence Rowley clears the boards for the Eagles, and out comes Emory. Rowley, the big guy from long range. He can hit from out there, but not that time. The 6'5 junior out of Ypsilanti is hitting 56% from the court, which leads the team. He's a 32% three-point shooter, so he can hit from outside. Now Hank Hunter, he takes a bit of a blow, and in comes number 33, Cameron Mack. Hunter, you remember, has been on the injured list for quite a while, and he's back in action today. Nestor over to Hardy. Now to Mack, who's just in the game. Nestor from 3, short. Rebound tried to pull out of there by Mac David, who just checked into the game. Referee says it went off the foot of an Eagle, and so it's going to be Washington University basketball. 4-0, 17-13 to go here in the first half. Emory's yet to score. And the Bears have it. Mac's going to trigger it in to Nestor. Nestor likewise has been banged up this season, back in the starting lineup today. Rucker with it. Top of the key to Nolan. He's their leading scorer, right at 18 points per game. Inside it goes. Hardy backing in. Puts it in over Mason Johnson, and it's 6-0. And a whistle. And I'm not exactly sure. There must have been a technical foul called on Jason Zimmerman. He's pointing out something to the official that he doesn't like. So that sends Nolan to the free throw line, and he hits the technical foul. Now let's shoot another one. Not the start that the Emory Eagles were hoping to get. As Nolan hits them both, and Emory falls behind 8-0. And it's going to be Emory basketball on the sideline. Matthew Schnare is getting ready to trigger it in. I'm not sure what set off Coach Zimmerman. He very rarely gets technical fouls, and this is awfully early in the game, but something caught his ire. All right, Nick stuck with it. Emory's digging himself a hole, 8-0. 16:40 to go here in the first half. And Emory's called a timeout. Trailing 8-0 here early in this game against Washington University. As I mentioned, Emory coming into this one with a 16-3 record, 6-2 in conference play. The Washington University Bears are 16-3 also overall, and on top of the UAA standings with a 7-1 record. Emory's athletic department, of course, led by Dr. Michael Vienna, the athletic director, and his top lieutenant, Joyce Jalil. They've done an outstanding job helping lead Emory to 27 NCAA titles, 202 UAA conference championships, 190 academic All-Americans have come through Emory, and 126 NCAA post-grad scholars. So congratulations to Dr. Michael Vienna and Joyce Jalil, who do a great job. The women's game follows this one on these same networks. And I was just told that there's been a baseball game rescheduled. The Emory men's baseball team is going to take on Piedmont College here at Emory. They were supposed to play up at Piedmont yesterday, but about 5 or 6 inches of snow got in the way of that one, so they moved the game down here, and they're going to be playing this afternoon. So now back to hoops. 16 seconds on the shot clock after that Emory timeout. Nick Stuck takes it down the lane, lays it up, lays it in, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play as Nick Stuck, the point guard, drives down the lane and lays it up and in. He's averaging 9.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per contest, and he is the team's leading assist guy as well. Hits that one, and Emory's finally on the scoreboard, now trailing 8-3. Emory in a man-to-man defense. Away it goes. Peyton Webb has just checked in, number 5 for Washington U, as Coach Pat Yuckham continues to move his lineup around a little bit. Nolan with it, comes over to the side to Webb. Webb to Rucker. Rucker behind his back. The big guy drives in, puts it in. A little bit of a wild shot, no good. Matt Davitt clears it off, gets it ahead to Roman Williams. Nick Stuck drives in, lays it in. So 5 straight points by Nick Stuck has brought Emory back in this ball game at 8-5. Rucker now with it, as Washington University says, hey, we'll run and gun with you guys. Not many teams can do that against Emory, who's averaging 88.5 points per game. But Washington says, we'll try. Mack now shaking and baking on the baseline, but they said that Emory touched it last. So it's going to be the Bears basketball underneath. It's going to be Jonathan Arenas, who just checked in. He's going to trigger it in. Comes back outside to Mack, tries back inside to Arenas. He gives it up. Nolan, the team's leading scorer, misfires there. Matthew Schneer with the rebound. And out come the Eagles. Cross court it goes to Davitt. Nick Stuck now looking for somewhere to go. Schneer to Davitt. Davitt from home run land. A little bit too hard, no good. Rucker cleans the glass. Gives it up to Nolan, and here come the Bears. Webb with it from long range. Boy, he hit that one. Peyton Webb makes it 11-5 with a long range three-pointer that looked good all the way. Inside to Davitt. Davitt blocked by Rucker. It's going to be a Emory basketball underneath their own hoop. 11-5 your score. 14:47 to go here in the first half. Luke Morrison now number 3 checking in for your Emory Eagles. Luke's a 6'4" junior out of Bristol, Indiana. A fellow Hoosier. Just outside Elkhart, Indiana, which is only a whisker away from South Bend, where University of Notre Dame is. So Emory turns it over there. Emory with some full court pressure. Hardy now breaks the pressure, gives it up to Arenas. Arenas drives in, puts it up, no good. Nick Stuck comes away from it, and he'll lead the fast break. Rowley now to Davitt, top of the key. to Morrison. Morrison did a great job on Friday's game against Chicago. Came off the bench and scored 7 points. Nick Stuck's three-pointer grazes the iron, and here comes the Bears. And Charlie Jacob kind of lost the handle of that one. It goes as a turnover. It's Emory's basketball, 11-5, trailing by 6. 14:09 to go in the first half. Lawrence Rowley with it to Schnare. Schnare cross court, it goes to Davitt. Luke Morrison now. Rowley. Long ranger by Davitt. In and out, no good. Cleaned out of there by Hank Hunter, who's back in the game. Now headed Jacob to Arenas to Webb. "19 seconds to go on the shot clock. Arenas top of the key, looking with somewhere to go. There's Webb again from long range, no good. Battling, Hunter gets it, puts it right back up with a baby hook, and Hank Hunter hits. And it's 13-5, which is an 8-point lead, which matches the biggest of the game. Luke Morrison now with it. Nick Stuck. He thought Matthew Schnare was going to go toward the hoop, and he thought he got fouled by Webb, but the ref didn't see it quite that way. For the Emory Eagles now, number 12, Greg Lawrence checks in, 6'6" freshman out of Fairfield, Connecticut. Arenas with it now, dribbling with the left hand. Comes outside to Webb, who just hit that three-pointer. Webb takes it in, no good. And last touch by Greg Lawrence, who thought Hank Hunter hit it out. Both teams, both coaches, liberally substituting, trying to keep their guys fresh as the pace of play has been a bit on the frenetic side. Long range by Nolan, the team's leading scorer, and he hits. And it's 16-5. And Emory's now down by 11. And a timeout is called by Coach Jason Zimmerman. Of course, Emory University was founded in 1836 in Oxford, Georgia. It was moved to its present site in 1915. President Claire Sturck has done a great job leading 15,000 students, 8,000 of them undergraduates. There are students from all 50 states here and over 100 foreign countries. The alumni base is right at 150,000, and there's been some very distinguished alumni here at Emory University. There's been 2 prime ministers, 11 congressmen, a couple of Nobel Prize winners, and how about this, a vice president, Alban Barkley. In 1935, or check that, under President Harry Truman. In 1948, he was the vice president, so Emory University with a very distinguished alumni base. Alban Barkley was the 35th vice president. Just a heartbeat away. Back to the game now. We've got Roman Williams with it. Roman needs to get on track. He's the team's leading scorer, and he's yet to score. Mason Johnson backs in, is tied up by a couple of guys, forces it up and gets fouled. So he's going to go to the free throw line. Mason Johnson is a 6'7" sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's averaging 6.6 points and 4.2 rebounds per game. He's a good free throw shooter. And over the last 4 games has averaged in double figures. The trainer is looking at Matt Nestor over there. And Matt's going to take a seat and get looked at further, and substitutions come in for both teams. Rucker comes back in. Charlie Jacobs comes back in for Washington University. For your Emory Eagles, you got Mason Johnson who's at the free throw line. Greg Lawrence, number 12, is out there. Number 2, Nick Tupayanen, the senior, just checking in, along with Nick Stuck. and Roman Williams. Nice rebound there by Mason Johnson. Greg Lawrence, the left-hander, looking for somewhere to go. Roman Williams with it now. So quick off the dribble, can create his own shots. He drives in, no good, but what a tip in, almost a slam dunk by the freshman Greg Lawrence. So Emory getting a little offensive spark there from a guy off the bench, and they need a little spark. 16-8 your score. Emory down by 8, make it 10 as Rucker moves in there and scores. Biggest lead has been 11. Emory has never led in this game. Tuppianen with it now, the senior, trying to get some senior leadership out there and battle this back into this game. Nick Stuck thought about the three, dishes it off to Mason Johnson, no good. Lawrence again keeping it alive, battling it, but Peyton Webb comes out with it. And here come the Bears. Outside to Nolan, the team's leading scorer. Short on that one, batted out of bounds by Rucker, and that one, no question about it, is Emory University basketball. So with 11:24 to go, Emory down 18-8. Lawrence Rowley checks back in. Greg Lawrence takes a seat, and he did a nice job. Came in, showed some energy, got a hoop, hit the offensive glass. So good job by Greg Lawrence there. As Nick Stuck brings it across the timeline. He's checked by Webb. Bears in a man-to-man defense. And there's a foul called. It's going to be on number 20, Jonathan Arenas. So it'll be Emory basketball under their own hoop. Roman Williams will trigger it inbounds to Rowley, back to Williams. Jump shot, no good. And Rucker clears it out, ahead to Arenas, who will bring it down. He gets it up to Hardy to Webb. Webb says, hey, I can shoot from out there, and yes, he can. Hits the three-pointer. 21-8 score, a 13-point deficit. Emory not shooting that well from the field right now. Emory just 3 of 13, 23%. 0 of 4 from the three-point arc. So that's how you get down by 13 points. Washington U is 7 of 17, 41%, and 2 of 6 from the home run stripe for 33%. So Emory ice cold. They need to heat up. Mason Johnson with it, ahead to Stuck. Stuck thinks about the three. Rowley from three, and hits! Lawrence Rowley hitting 56% from the field, 33% from the home run arc. That guy traveled, Arenas. And maybe some momentum shifting Emory's way now as they've cut the lead down to 10, forced a turnover, as it's 21-11. 10-17 to go here in the first half. Again, Emory's problem is the shooting percentage of misfire there. And then scrambling for the basketball underneath the boards. Fouls on Arenas, that's his second. And he's going to sit down, and Jacobs going to come back in. So it's Emory basketball. Nick Stuck triggering it inside, trying to run a play, has to come back outside. Matthew Schnare with it, averaging 16 points a game, and he bags the three-pointer. Matthew Schnare, the 6'4" junior out of Boca Raton, Florida, and Emory's only down by 7, 21-14. Mack with the ball now, way outside, goes inside to Rucker. Rucker backs in on Davitt. He's in that lane for about 5 days. Now he's tied up. Then he moves in and shoots it, and they call a foul on the Eagles. Fouls on Matt Davitt. That's his first. That's the team's second. It sends Rucker to the free throw line, where he's hitting 90%. Not a guy you want to foul. 6'5" senior out of Florissant, Missouri, is averaging 10 points and 6.2 rebounds per game. Misses that one, but the Bears get the rebound. Long ranger by Nolan, in and out and back in again. And just like that, Emory's down by 11, 25-14. Rowley with it, cross court to Davitt. No good. Bodies banging underneath the hoop. I think they caught Lawrence Rowley with the foul. They did. That's his first. So it's going to be WashU's basketball as Mack is going to trigger it in. Emory picking up with some full court pressure. Greg Lawrence is checked back in, number 12. Good defensive player, adds a lot of energy when he comes in, can really jump. Had a couple of nice dunks this season. Hunter with it, gives it up to Nolan. Nolan, long range. And Nolan now with 13 points to pace everybody. And WashU is up 28-14. Which is the biggest lead of the game. Schnarr goes across. Lawrence from three. Nope. Boy, it's just one of those games where nothing's going in for the Emory Eagles. They're taking good shots. They're just not hitting. That happens. But Emory's also the kind of team that can get on fire and hit from everywhere. So it's 28-14, 8:32 to go here in the first half. Rucker triggers it in to Jacob. Jacob to Nolan, who's got 13 points. He's been red hot. He says, I'm going to shoot again. And boy, that one was way down but came out. Emory with it. Schnarr has hit a three. That one was way down and came back out. Great hustle by Rucker to save it to Nolan. Nolan will bring it down. He has 13 points to Jacob. Nolan's their leading scorer, averaging 18 a game for the season, and he's got 13 already. Misses that one. Cleared out of there by Nick Stuck. Long pass ahead to Schnarr. Schnarr into the corner. Roman Williams takes it to the hoop, lays it up a little too hard, tips it up once, and Rucker comes away with it. Rucker's been a force for WashU underneath the boards. He's done a good job. Jacob with it now, way outside. Emory in man-to-man defense. 7:38 to go. It's 28-14. A late whistle as Mack drove in there. Fouls called on Matthew Schnarr. That's his first, team's fifth. And Mack is going to shoot two. He's just a 39% free throw shooter. And shows why with that one. He's averaging 5.4 points per game, a 6'6" sophomore out of Algonquin, Illinois. And he makes the second. So 29-14 we are. 15-point deficit. Lawrence Rowley now, giving it up. Mason Johnson drives in, banks it off the glass. The Mr. Drysdale shot, the banker. And that cuts the lead to 29-16. Nestor with it now, he's back in. Rucker walks, nothing called, is in the lane forever, no call. Mack with it. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Nestor with the turnaround jumper, no good. But then a big rebound by Hank Hunter. And he fell out of bounds, but they called a foul on Emory. So it's 29-16. The foul was called on Matt Davitt. That's his first, team 6th. Way back it goes to Rucker, to Nestor. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Mack with it now. Nestor trying to get it into Hank Hunter. Can't go there. Peyton Webb from outside. No good. And here come the Eagles. Roman Williams is double teamed. Wide open. Luke Morrison drills it. Comes off the bench. Hits the three. And Emory's cut it to 10 now. 29-19. As I mentioned, Luke Morrison did a nice job on Friday night coming in off the bench against Chicago and scored 7 points. Mack with it. And there's Hunter, Hank Hunter, muscling his way in on Matt Davitt. And Davitt takes the charge for the offensive foul against Hunter. That's his second. So he most likely will sit the last 5:43 of the first half, as Coach Pat Yuckham doesn't want to see him pick up his third here in the first half. 29-19. As we check the stats, Emory just 7 of 22 shooting, 31%. 3 of 10 from the home run arc, which is 30%. Meanwhile, WashU is 10 of 24, which is 41%. 5 of 12 from the three-point arc, 41%. And Jack Nolan has 13 points for the Bears. Matthew Schnare collects a foul, so he's going to go to the free throw line now. Matt's averaging 16.2 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. He's an 81% free throw shooter from Boca Raton, Florida. Been a real solid player all season long as he hits them both. Emory's cut the lead to 8, 29-21. Get a stop here and get a three there, and things get interesting again. Jacob in the corner. Rucker driving, and he's fouled. Rucker with just 3 points, but boy, he's been all over the glass today, and he's played the good defense. He's a 90% free throw shooter, 6'5" senior out of Florissant, Missouri. Averaging 10 points a game. So he hits, and it's back to a 10-point spread at 31-21. WashU is led by as many as 15. Luke Morrison with it. He just hit the big three. Nice pass over into the corner. And boy, a delayed call. I think he did travel, but the Bears bench erupted, and then the whistle blew. So a traveling call, a turnover for the Eagles. 31-21, 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Emory has never led in this game. Nestor behind the back lost it there. Ahead to Luke Morrison, who lays it up and in. Nice pass. And Luke Morrison has come off the bench now and has 5 points, much like he did against Chicago on Friday. 8-point Bulls, 31-23. Nestor drives in. He's trapped, and he travels. Great defense there by Mason Johnson. Of course, Mason at 6'7", much taller than Matt Nestor at 5'11". Nestor tried to get out of trouble and shuffled his feet. So Emory now the chance to cut into that Bears lead even more. Matthew Schnare now. Luke Morrison has a bit of a hot hand. And what a great individual move by Mason Johnson, who just moved his way in. And hey, Emory is down by 6, 31-25. The crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. There's a nice crowd here on a Sunday afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. A little bit of snow in the works yesterday, but it's a nice Sunday, sunshiny Sunday. And then Hardy with an elbow. Wasn't called. Missed the shot. Arenas with the steal. Then the spinning shot by Rucker. And it's 33-25. Long range, no good. Cleared out of there by Arenas, who jumped through the roof to get that one. Now to Rucker, way outside. Now to Nolan. Nolan with the lob pass, and it's blocked. But a foul's called, and he hits. And that's Justin Hardy. He's got 4 points. Leads back to 10. Emory cut the lead to 6. Hardy with it now. And he misfires, cleaned out of there by Morrison, and it's a 10-point game at 35-25. Matchnair with it. Luke Morrison, long range, no good. Arenas with another rebound. WashU quickly up court. Nolan shakes and bakes. Rucker shuffled his feet down there on the baseline, but it wasn't called. Hardy drives in, he scores. And it's 37-25. Whistle on Nolan. So that's going to send Roman Williams to the line. Roman hasn't scored yet this game. Matt Tuppianen checks back in as Luke Morrison takes a seat, and there's a timeout called with 2:47 to go here in the first half. Emory's down 37-25. The Washington University Bears jumped out to the early 8-0 lead, scoring the first 8 points of the game. They built up a lead as big as 15 points at 29-14. Emory cut that lead down to just 6 at 31-25, but then the Bears have regained momentum and now lead by 12 at 37-25 with 2:47 to go in the game. As we mentioned at the top of the game, Emory is 6-2 in conference play. WashU is 7-1 in conference play, so it's number 1 versus number 2. Brandeis also 6-2 in conference play. They're the top 3 teams in the league right now. Roman Williams at the line. He's averaging 17.9 points per game, but has yet to score in this one. And still doesn't have a point. They say that Mason Johnson touched it last. And oh, they called a foul on Mason Johnson. And so that's going to send Justin Hardy to the free throw line. Hardy's a 72% free throw shooter. 6'5" sophomore out of St. Charles, Illinois. He's averaging 15.4 points per game. He's had his share of injuries this year as well, and there's an offensive rebound, goes to WashU. Nolan, that guy is red hot. Another three-pointer, and that's him 16. And Emory's looking at a 15-point deficit right now again. Greg Lawrence has checked back in the lineup. There's Roman Williams. There he hits one. Three-pointer for Roman Williams. Now that cuts into the Bears lead with 2:10 to go. Good to see Roman get untracked, and he's the kind of guy that can get streaky. He missed a few in a row, but now he's made one. He can make a few in a row. Mack trapped at the timeline. He drives in, puts it in, no good. Tipped up, no good. And then a whistle called as people were battling for the rebound. And it looks like it's going to be Nolan going to the free throw line. Jack Nolan with 16 big points. Misfires there. The foul is on Matt Schnarr, which was his second. So he's going to take a seat for the last minute 53. Greg Lawrence checks back in. Matt Davitt checks in. Tupianen will sit down. Nolan with his second. Hits that one. So it's 41-28. Nick Stuck brings it across the timeline. He puts up a baby hook, in and out, no good. A lot of these shots have almost gone in. They just haven't dropped. Nolan with it now, 41-28 your score. Peyton Webb in there. To Arenas, who's gotten several good rebounds for the Bears today. To Hardy. Man-to-man defense. Arenas throws inside. Good anticipation by Roman Williams. And it's stolen away by Luke Morrison. Morrison ahead to Roman Williams. Great pass. They tried to give it back. And the ball's kicked. Nick Stuck was trying to make the pass back to Roman Williams. And one of the Bears, kicked it. So a missed opportunity, but it was a nice play. Mack now sits down as Rucker comes back in for WashU. Nick Stuck will trigger in the baseline play. Comes to Matt Davitt. That's a two-pointer. Matt Davitt hits. That's his first 2 points of the game. And Emory cuts it to 11 at 41-30. 56 seconds to go. Webb with it. Top of the key to Rucker to Arenas. Hardy now to Webb. Webb trying to go inside. Rucker's got it. Makes the move. Takes the baseline on Greg Lawrence. Rucker doesn't want to shoot over Greg Lawrence. He's got those long arms. And then the Bears had to throw that one up because the time clock was going down. Now there's about a 2-second deficit in the shot clock and the game clock. Emory down by 11. Nick Stuck with it, guarded by Webb. Moves into the lane. Davitt from three is fouled. And he's going to get to shoot three. This happened on Friday night twice late in the game as Emory stormed back from a double-digit deficit. Matt Davitt was fouled shooting three. He got three. He hit all three free throws. And then the next time down, again, he was fouled shooting a three-pointer. And he made the first two as things got a little bit interesting there toward the end. Matt Davitt hits that one. He's an 85% free throw shooter. Hits the second one. Matt's little brother, if you can call him a little brother, Kevin Davitt, he plays for WashU Bears. He's a 6'10 freshman, averaging 3.3 points and 1.8 rebounds per game. He hasn't seen any action yet today, but a couple of brothers there as Matt hits all three, gives him 5 on the day. Emory has cut the lead to under 10, which considering where it's been is not a bad deal. Long ranger, no good by Nolan. And that brings the first half to an end as Emory battled back to cut the lead from 15 down to just 8 here at the break. And it's 41-40. Let's quickly check out the scoring here. First for the Washington University Bears, they're led in scoring by Jack Nolan. He has 17 big points. He's been really a load. Devon Rucker, he has 7 points. Peyton Webb came off the bench at a couple of three-pointers. He has 6 points. Justin Hardy has 6 points. Hank Hunter, 4 points. And Cameron Mack has a point. For your Emory Eagles, they're led in scoring by 5 guys with 5 points. Luke Morrison came off the bench and had 5. Nick Stuck, the point guard, has 5. Matt Davitt has 5, thanks to those 3 free throws right there. Mason Johnson with 5 and Matthew Schnarr with 5. Roman Williams has 3 points. Lawrence Rowley has 3 on a three-pointer. Greg Lawrence has 2 on that tip in, and that's your scoring for the Emory Eagles. Right now, it looks like Emory shot 11 of 29 from the three-point or from the field for just 37.9% from the field. On the season, they're shooting 47%. So at halftime, it is 41 to 33. We're going to take a big break, and we'll be back with the second half right after this. Welcome back to Emory University men's basketball. I'm Mark Harmon, the voice of the Eagles. We're at halftime of today's game between the Emory Eagles and the Bears of Washington University. Right now, the Bears with the lead 41-33. At the break, a couple of glaring things that just jump right out at you off the stat page here in the first half. Emory shooting 11 of 29 in the first half, just 37.9%. Emory was 4 of 13 from the three-point arc, which is 30.8%. Hit 7 of 9 free throws, which is a good 77%. But overall, Emory is shooting 47% from the field on the season. They hit just 37% in the first half today. Meanwhile, the Washington University Bears, they were 14 of 33 from the field, 42.4%. 6 of 14 from the home run arc, which is 42.9%. They were 7 of 12 from the free throw line. The other big key indicator here, as you look at the stats, is in the rebounding. Emory was out rebounded 25 to 15 in the first half. So Emory's going to have to play better on the boards. They're going to have to shoot better, and they're going to have to battle back. Washington University got off to a hot start. They scored the first 8 points of the game. Emory has never led in this game. WashU built up as big a lead as 15 points. Emory cut that to 6, and it looked like things might get super exciting, but the Bears built that back up to double digits. Emory came on strong just right at the tail end of the first half to cut that lead to 8, and that's where we stand right now with the Washington University Bears leading it 41-33. Of course, Emory coming into this game ranked 6th in the country, 16-3 record, 6-2 in conference play. Washington University is ranked 11th this week in the standings. They are also 16-3 overall, and they are on top of the UAA conference with a 7-1 record. Emory lost on Friday night to the University of Chicago, so it would be great to get back on the winning track tonight. They're back in town next weekend as NYU and Brandeis come to town, and then Emory will wrap up the regular season with 3 consecutive road games. Wrapping up the last regular season game will be at Rochester. So right now it's 41-33. We're about ready to get things rolling here in the second half. Hardy inbounds it to Nestor, and away we go. Emory down by 8 points with 20 minutes to make something happen. Long pass to Nestor. Nestor takes the baseline, comes back outside. Hardy from 3. No good. Tipped up. No good. And it bounces out to Emory. To Mason Johnson, who gets it ahead to Nick Stuck. Matt Schnare from long range. Didn't hit anything, and so it's going to be St. Louis, Washington basketball. (41-33) your score. Stolen away by Lawrence Rowley, ahead to Roman Williams, who is so quick off the dribble. Nice move by Rowley, who did a shake and bake move, puts it up and in, and Emory's within 6 at 41-35. The great Bob Knight was honored in Bloomington, Indiana yesterday for his long decades, 30 years or so, as head coach at the University at Indiana. And that was quite the scene. I covered Indiana University basketball for 5 years back in the day. And Bob Knight, time and time again, would tell anyone that would listen, including just a young cub reporter like myself, that the most important 5 minutes of any basketball game is the first 5 minutes of the second half. So we'll see how that transpires today in this particular game. But Emory down 8, now they're down 6. We'll see what happens in these first 5 minutes of the second half. Hardy inbounds it. Wide open is Nolan, and he hits another 3. That puts him at 20 points for the game and puts Washington U back up by 11. Roman Williams trying to make something happen off the dribble. Loses the handle. Whistle's blown. It's a foul on number 21. Devon Rucker. And he takes a quick seat. Schnare from outside, three-pointer in. Matt Schnare, he can shoot from out there. He's a 53% three-point shooter, and he hits that one. He's averaging 16.2 points per game, and that cuts the lead down to 44-38. 6-point Emory lead. Boy, if they could just get on a little bit of a run. Backing in is Hardy, backing in. He's in the lane forever, and the call a foul on Mason Johnson. That's going to be his third. We'll see what Coach Zimmerman decides to do, either leave him in or replace him with 18:04 to go. Both he and Lawrence Rowley with 3 fouls. And they're both still out there. No good. A long rebound counts out to Nick Stuck. 45-38, long range, in and out, no good. Tip in by Mason Johnson, who flew through the air, timed it perfectly, laid it up and in, and Emory is within 5, which is as close as they've been in a long time. Ball is thrown away, and Uncle Mo momentum shifting perhaps Emory's way. The home crowd cheering on their team. Nick Stuck with it. I'd get it to Matt Snare. He seems to have the hot hand right here, just hitting that three-pointer, and he can get on a roll. That ball's tipped out of bounds by Jack Nolan, who seems to be everywhere. He's got 20 points. Emory's got the ball. The shot clock's at 15, so they don't have to rush it, but they got to get something going here. Nick Stuck looking for somewhere to go. Roman Williams. Mason Johnson trying to bull his way in. Long ranger, no good. Great rebound by Rowley. We mentioned that Emory was out rebounded in the first half, 25-15. So it's good to see Emory getting some offensive work done on the glass. And it goes to Matt Snare. He comes back outside. Stuck. Back out to Rowley. Three-pointer, no good, but a nice rebound by Matt Snare, who gets it to Roman Williams, who has it blocked. No foul called, and it's 45-40 still. Peyton Webb now, inside it goes. Hardy bowling his way inside, no good. Rebound by Hunter, no good. Emory clears it. Nick Stuck with it. Corner, Roman Williams, no good. Roman has just been a little bit off today. He's the team's leading scorer, averaging 17, and he's got 3 right now on that one three-pointer. But he's a streaky shooter. No good by Webb. Mack jumping in there. Looked like he jumped over a couple of Emory guys, but the whistle's called. And the foul is going to be on Mason Johnson, I believe. And if that is, that's his 4th. He's going to take that long walk to the bench. He had 7 points. The Bears trigger it inside. Rucker with it. Comes back outside. Nolan to Hardy. Hardy jams it in there. Nobody stopped him. And Justin Hardy just took a lane and went up for the big two-handed slam jam, making it 47-40. Matt Davitt, Nick Stuck, Lawrence Rowley, Roman Williams, and Matthew Snare are your 5 in gray out there. Rowley is fouled on the inbounds play. He's going to go to the free throw line. That's the 3rd team foul on the Bears. It goes against number 5, Peyton Webb, just his 1st. Rowley at the free throw line is a 73% free throw shooter. The 6'5", 200-pound junior out of Ypsilanti. Michigan is averaging 13.4 points per game, and he's a team best 8.4 rebounds per game. Boy, in and out, in and out. That's been the name of the game for the Emory Eagles today. Rucker way out here at the top of the key. Hardy with it now, thinks about a three, goes inside to Mack. Mack throws it over to Webb from three, no good. Roman Williams with the rebound, and he brings it down himself, shakes and bakes between his legs. Coach said there's nobody faster from free throw line to free throw line than Roman Williams with the basketball. Nick Stuck drives in, puts it up, draws a foul by Webb. Let's see if he was in the act of shooting or not. Number 3, Luke Morrison, checks back in. Luke had a good first half, came off the bench and scored 5 points. Roman Williams will trigger the inbounds play. Comes back out to Matt Davitt. Rowley inside, nice reverse layup, it just won't fall. By Luke Morrison, who was right there. Long ranger by Nolan, no good. Clangs off the iron. I think Hardy got whistled for that one. Yep, that's on Hardy. That's his second, so Emory will get the ball. 5 team fouls for the Bears, 3 team fouls for the Eagles. 14:53 to go. Emory's right there, just 7 points down. If they could just get something going. So many shots have gone in and out. So many shots have just hung on the rim. There's Matt Snare, and he lays it up and in. Snare now with 8 points, and Emory's within 5 at 47-42. Emory's never led in this game. Roman Williams with the quick hands. Took it away from Mack, but they're going to call a foul and said he hit his wrist. So that's 2 on Roman. Matt Schnare now takes a seat. Nestor with it now. Top of the key. Senior point guard. Nolan, who's had an outstanding game. He's got 20 points already. Averaging 17 on the season. They lob it into Hank Hunter. Hunter, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound by Morrison. Matt Davitt, checked by Hunter. Rowley. Roman Williams, so quick off the dribble. He can go left, he can go right. Nice pass into Rowley. No good. And there's the rebound, and out to Arenas it goes. He's checked by Davitt. Arenas puts up a baby hook. No good. It won't go. Rebound by Hunter, and he puts it in. 49-42. Rowley with it. Roman Williams drives in left hand. It's blocked by Hunter. And out come the Bears. Hardy with it. Gets it to Nestor. Nestor over to number 22. Gives a great pass to Hunter, who lays it in left-handed. That was all Jack Nolan. Terrific pass. And the lead's back to 9. Lawrence Rowley with it. Stuck from 3. No good. Rebound by Arenas, and he has a handful of rebounds coming off the bench. And then he makes the mistake, throws away. Luke Morrison with it. He'll bring it down. He says, hey, I'll take it to the hoop. He shoots and banks it in. The Mr. Drysdale shot, the banker. 51-44. Emory just can't quite get over the hump. They've cut the lead to 5. They cut the lead to 7. They just need to get to where it's a one-possession game if they can. Plenty of time to play. 12:31 to go. And Emory with a 51-44 deficit right now. We mentioned Coach Jason Zimmerman. He's in his 13th season here, in charge of the Emory University men's basketball program. He's won 230 games, just 106 defeats. He's had 11 consecutive winning seasons. He's taken Emory to the postseason 7 consecutive years. Good chance to make it 8 this year. His teams have won 4 conference championships in 2013, 15, 16, and 19. They've made the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Division III in 2014, 15, 16, and 18. They made it to the Elite 8 back in 2014. So Coach Z has done an outstanding job, and he's got a whale of a team right now. They're ranked 6th in the country. They're 16-3. They start 4 juniors and a sophomore, so everybody's coming back from the starting lineup next year most likely. They've been ranked as high as number 2 in the polls. And if fate would have it, the Final Four for Division III is going to be played right here in Atlanta, Georgia, along with the Division II championships and the Division I championships. (51-44). Hardy draws the foul, gets the hoop. Good one-on-one play there by Justin Hardy. He's got a chance for a three-point play and a chance to put WashU back up by 10. The Bears scored the first 8 points of the game and have never looked back, never trailed in this one. He hits, it's a 10-point game at 54-44. Greg Lawrence has checked back in number 12. Nick Stuck thought about the 3. Now here's Morrison. He can hit from out there. He decides to drive in, gives it up. Three-pointer to Stuck. And it goes! Finally one bouncing on the rim and going in. Finally Emory getting the shooter's roll. And it's 54-47 as Nick Stuck hits. Nick now with 8 points in the game. Hardy with it, looking for somewhere to go. And there's a whistle away from the ball as a young fan crawled out onto the court, and the mom's got her and got her upside down. I think everybody's okay, but you don't see that every day. She said that her Emory Eagles needed a little extra help, so she was going to go out there and play some defense, I think. Her mom said, why don't you wait a few years, play for the ladies team, and everything will be okay. All right, well, thank goodness nothing weird happened there, but kind of a funny moment. 54-47. That's one of the problems with those front row seats. You can get right out on the court if you want to, if you're a toddler. They've got to shoot it. Clock's running down, and boy, does he shoot it as number 22, Jack Nolan, drills another three-pointer. That gives him 23 points on the game. Puts the lead back to 10. Inside it goes, Matt Davitt, turnaround jumper, and Matt hits. Matt Davitt now with 7 points. Matt Snare leads Emory with 10 points in scoring. But Jack Nolan with 23 points, and he's got 6 three-pointers. And he's got another one, so he's got 25 now. 59-49. And Nick Stuck drives into the lane, takes the jumper. He's fouled, so he's going to go to the free throw line. That's the 16th foul for the Bears. It's called against Nestor, just his first. The only guy with 3 fouls for the Bears right now is number 21, Devon Rucker, who has 7 points and has done a nice job on the floor rebounding, playing defense. Nick Stuck's second one is short, but it comes back out to Nick. Mason Johnson thought about the 3. Now over to Matthew Snare, who says, I'll take it and hit. Matt Snare. He's the UAA Player of the Week last week when they played Chicago and WashU. He averaged 14 points and 13 rebounds in those 2 games. He now has 13 points. He leads Emory in scoring. Hank Hunter, no good. Rebound. by Roman Williams, who brings it down, gives it up. Mason Johnson thought about the three. It's tipped away and stripped away as Emory cut it to 6 and had a chance to make a bigger dent. Hardy with it. They come back out. Nolan, he says, I feel it from everywhere. That was in and out, no good. Nice rebound by Schnarr. Rowley to Schnarr. He's got the hot hand. Mason Johnson in and out, no good. Rebound comes out to Hunter. And it remains a 6-point game at 59-53. Emory with a couple of chances to get it to a one-possession game, and then we see what happens. Emory playing the good D. Out it comes. Wide open. Number 22, I sound like a broken record. As Jack Nolan hits again. Jack Nolan with 28 points. The guy has just been on fire. 8 of 16 from the field. 6 of 12, make it 7 of 13 from the three-point arc, and he has 28 big points. Justin Hardy has 12, Hank Hunter has 8, and Devon Rucker has 7 to lead the way for the Bears. For Emory Eagles, Matthew Schnarr, he leads the way with 13. He's the only Eagle in double figures. Nick Stuck has 9. Luke Morrison has 7 coming off the bench. Matt David has 7. Mason Johnson has 7. Lawrence Rowley has 5. Roman Williams has 3. And Greg Lawrence has 2. And that's your scoring for the Emory Eagles at this point in time. Boy, Emory down 6, had the ball, had a chance to make something happen. And then you blink, and it's 62-53. Nick Stuck with it, brings it down. Over to Matthew Schnarr. He's got a couple of three-pointers, lost the handle, but Rowley's got it. Mason Johnson with it. Stuck drives in the lane, puts it up, puts it in. Nick Stuck, the junior point guard. 6'2", out of Lithia, Florida. Cuts that lead to 7 at 62-55. 8:42 to go in the game. Arenas trying to get rid of it. Gives it to Nolan. That's who I'd give it to. Then Nolan with a great pass back to Arenas. Arenas threw it off a Rowley, so it's going to be Bears basketball underneath their own hoop. Hunter trying to get position before anything even happens. He's standing in the lane. He's growing, if he was a tree, he'd be growing roots. Tipped out, and here come the Eagles. Shake and bake. Roman Williams takes it to the hoop and scores. And now it's a 5-point game at 62-57. Emory's never led. Bears scored the first 8 points of this basketball game. There's 8:10 to go. Emory's crowd getting into it. They throw it into Hunter. Hunter backs in, and we've got an offensive foul called on big number 44, Hank Hunter, the 6'9" senior out of Parkland, Florida. And now Emory with a chance to make it a one-possession game. 7:59 to go. Nick Stuck, cool as ice, bringing it across court. Rowley goes cross. Roman Williams is fouled, nothing called, he's mugged. Guys are falling on him. He's okay. Roman injured his leg a couple of weeks ago. But he's okay. He's going to go to the free throw line. And if he can hit 2, Emory will be within 3. But boy, it sure looked like he was fouled on the dribble, and then guys just fell on him. This is the big rivalry in the UAA. In recent years, it seems like the championship goes through either St. Louis or Atlanta. Washington University or Emory University. Roman Williams, who has not had a good day shooting the ball. Just 2 of 10 from the field, but he hit that important free throw. And he hits that one. So Emory now down by just 3, 62-59. They have battled all the way back. They trailed by 8 points right off the get-go. They trailed by as many as 15 points in the first half. They trailed by 8 points at the break, 41-33. In the second half, the biggest lead for the Bears has been 9 points at 44-35, and Emory has finally cracked it down to a one-possession game, 62-59 with 7:45 to go. Let's see who steps up and is the man here over the clutch time minutes. For the Bears, they've had one spectacular player in Jack Nolan. Nolan's averaging 17.9 points per game. He just scored his 1,000th career point last week. He's got 28 more big points to add to that career total today, and most likely more to come. Though it wouldn't break my heart if he didn't score in the last 7:45. Emory, really no pressure. They get it into Webb. Webb's going to bring it up to Rucker. Nolan is being checked right now by Roman Williams, man to man. And Roman is just trying to stick to him as close as he possibly can. He gets run off a pick. Webb now with it. Hardy, 10 seconds to go on the shot clock, and they call a block. And that's on Matt Schnarr, and that's his 4th. So a couple of Emory Eagles with 4 fouls. Coach Zimmerman's going to let Matt stay in there. They need his offensive firepower. He's got 13 points to lead Emory, and he's got 3 3-pointers. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. Nestor with it now, looking for Nolan. That's who I'd look for, but it goes to Rucker. Rucker pushes off, puts it up, no good. Hunter with the rebound, comes back outside to Nestor. Nestor to Nolan, no good. Tipped up once, twice. I mean, the battling under the boards is just amazing. And the Bears have had the best of it. They got 2 or 3 extra shots on offensive rebounds just in that sequence. Emory just down by 3. Rucker with it. Working on Davitt, muscling in. They're letting him play. Baby hook is an air ball, and it comes out to Roman Williams. Let's see if Roman can hit a 3. Matt Davitt with it. Rucker guarding Rowley. Long range, Nick Stuck from 3, and he hits! And this ball game is tied 62-62 on a 3-pointer by the point guard, Nick Stuck. Nick now with 14 points to lead the Eagles in scoring. And for the first time since it was 0-0 at the opening tip, this game is tied. The crowd getting into it, rooting on their Eagles inside. It goes to Hunter. Hunter backs away. And boy, that's a little bit of a ticky-tacker there. These guys are big, and they've been banging and battling the whole game, and then with 6 minutes to go, they call one. Greg Lawrence checks out. Matthew Schnarr checks back in. Remember, he has 4 fouls. Hunter from the free throw line. Misfires. Rebound to Davitt, and Emory can take the lead for the first time in this ball game with a point of any kind. The Bears scored the first 8. Emory has never led. 6:48 to go. Matthew Schnarr with it. He has 13 points today. Roman Williams, the team's leading scorer over the course of the season. The point guard, Nick Stuck, hits, and Emory leads for the first time. 64-62. Uncle Momentum has gone the Emory Eagles' way, and the crowd is on their feet cheering on their team. here at the Robert W. E. Woodruff PE Center. Holy cow, it's been a long time coming for the Emory Eagles to take the lead, but they finally have. It was the Washington University Bears jumping out to an 8-0 lead as they score the first 8 points of the game. They led by as many as 15 points in the second half, or in the first half. They led at 41-33 by 8 at halftime. And Emory is just slowly and surely battled back and battled back. The Bears took the lead at 62-53, and Emory has gone on an 11-0 run and has taken a 2-point lead at 64-62. This game, you flip over the Chicago game where Emory had a 4-point lead with 7 minutes to go, and then the University of Chicago went on a 16-0 run to blow the game open. Well, this game isn't blown open, but Emory was down 9 and is now up by 2. That's an 11-0 run. And that has propelled Emory into the lead 64-62. The buzzer sounds, and who knows what's going to happen over this last 5 minutes and 28 seconds. But it's going to be fun. Emory 6-2 in conference play. The Washington University Bears 7-1 in conference play. Emory playing man-to-man defense, and it's a 5-second call, a turnover, a miscue, a mistake, a crucial error. And it goes against Washington University, and Emory now has the ball and a chance to expand its lead. Emory on an 11-0 run right now. Matthew Snare inside to Matt Davitt. I think they've called a foul on number 32 as Davitt went up to catch the ball. He wound up landing on his back. And it's going to be Emory basketball. Or actually with the foul, it was on 32, Hardy. And that's his third, and that's going to send Matt Davitt to the line, shooting the bonus. So Matt Davitt hits. Emory's lead is 3, their biggest lead of the game. Matt has 8 points on the game. He's averaging 13.9. He hits them both, and Emory has its biggest lead of the game, 66-62. Emory now on a 13-0 run. Nestor with it. Inside they go to Hardy. Hardy misfires. Rebound by the smallest guy on the court, 5'9", Roman Williams. He gives it up to the point guard. Nick Stuck, who's done an outstanding job. Nick with 16 big points. Davitt now to Roman. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. Stuck with it. He feels it. He shoots it. A little too hard. Rowley battling with it. It goes out of bounds. And they say it went off an Emory Eagle. So it's going to be Bears basketball. 3:46 to go. Emory up by 4. 66-62. Emory on a 13-0 run. The Bears have been stuck on 62 since they took a 62-53 lead. Nolan, short, air ball. Rowley with the rebound. Nick Stuck brings it across. The clock now Emory's friend all of a sudden. Nick Stuck calling out signals to Roman Williams, the team's leading scorer over the course of the season. Matt Davitt, who can hit from anywhere. Mason Johnson looking for a route. Down comes Stuck. Stuck shoots a little too hard, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Hardy. And here come the Bears. 3:51 to go. Inside to Hunter. Hunter matching up with Davitt. Banging, banging. And again, they call that on Matt Davitt. Hunter's banging in there offensively just as hard. And he's a big fella at 6'9". But Hunter's going to go to the free throw line. He's a 50% free throw shooter. He makes the first. So that gets them off 62. So Emory had a 13-0 run to go from 9 down to 4 ahead. 66-63. Hits them both. 66-64 now. Emory with a 2-point lead and the basketball. 3:40 to go. Well, they called a foul on the Bears. That's on Nolan. That'll be his third. Nolan with 28 points. That sends Roman Williams to the line. He's an 81% free throw shooter. He's got 7 points today. One of the quickest guys you'll see off the dribble anywhere in college basketball. He gets that one to go. Emory up by 3. Roman Williams, the second one rattles through. In the first half, those rattled and rattled out. Now they're rattling through, and Emory with a 4-point lead at 68-64. Nestor with it. Checked by Rowley. You got a point guard and a center going at it, man-to-man defense. Nolan loses the handle. There's only 8 seconds on the shot clock. 8 seconds and lower. Hardy drives in. Turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound tipped out. Matthew Schnare has it. He gives it up to Nick Stuck, the point guard, and away we go. Schnare with 13 points. Nick Stuck with 16 points. They're the two guys in double figures for your Emory Eagles. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. 2:46 to go in the game. Emory by 4. Roman's going to have to shoot it. He does. Banks it, little too hard. Rebound by Hardy. And out come the Bears. Here's Nolan. Nolan goes across court to Nestor. Nestor drives in, decides to come back out. Nolan from long range, no good. He's cooled off, thank goodness for Emory fans. And the ball is tipped to Nick Stuck. 68-64. Matthew Schnare with it. To Rowley. Over to Matt Davitt. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Schnare thought about it, launching a long one, drives in, comes back out. Rowley from 3, no good. Rebound, battling, tipped out, and Nolan gets it. So 1:50 to go. Emory still by 4. 2-possession game. Nolan to Hardy. Back to Nolan. Nolan between his legs a couple of times. Drives on Davitt, and Davitt picks up a foul. That's going to be his 4th. Minute 34 to go. Jack Nolan is a 90% free throw shooter. He scored his 1,000th career point last weekend. Hits that one. He's got 29 points in this one. And he hits them both. So he's got 30 points. Emory has the ball and a 2-point lead, 68-66. Emory went on a big 13-0 run here recently to go from 9 down to 4 ahead. Blocked, but it goes right to Nick Stuck. So a break for the Eagles. As Roman Williams' jumper was blocked, but Emory got it right back. Now with 6 seconds to go, Nick Stuck drives it in and is fouled, and he's going to go to the free throw line and shoot 2 with 1:08 to go. I mean, we're beyond crunch time. This is the exciting time. Emory didn't lead in this game till there was 5 minutes to go. The Bears scoring the first 8 points, led by as many as 15. Emory trailed by 9 with 7 minutes to go and went on a 13-0 run to take a 4-point lead. Emory's lead now at 3, and a big free throw to make it a 2-possession game. Nick Stuck, what a game. 18 points. Emory by 4, 70-66. Emory playing the defense. The crowd stomping its feet, cheering on their team. Nolan's got it, goes to Rucker. Rucker tries to take the baseline. Baby hook hits. And a quick timeout by Coach Pat Yuckham of Washington U. And with 50.6 seconds to go, Emory will have the basketball and Emory will have the lead at 70-68. Well, this game has become what everyone thought it would be, a battle of the 2 top programs in the UAA. No disrespect to Brandeis, who's tied for second place with a 6-2 record in the conference, but over the last several years, these have been the 2 Goliaths that clash. And last week, Emory won in St. Louis 80-67. This game obviously much closer. Emory didn't even lead in this game till about 5 minutes to go in the game, when they went on a 13-0 run and went from 9 points down to 4 points ahead. Emory's biggest lead has been 4 points. And right now they've got a 2-point lead and the basketball. And as I look at the possession arrow is going Emory's way. So that could be a factor with 50 seconds to go as well. You want as many aces in your hand as you can get them. Both teams in the bonus. Emory has 2 players on the court right now, Mason Johnson and Matthew Snare, both with 4 fouls. The Bears have 1 guy with 4 fouls, and that's number 32, Justin Hardy, who scored 12 points today. He's been the second leading scorer today behind the 30 of Jack Nolan. It doesn't appear as if the Bears are going to pick him up full court. They're standing at about half court. Matthew Snare is going to trigger it inbounds. Coach Pat Yuckham with the last little bit of instruction to number 42, Charlie Jacob. Whistle blows, and the last 50 seconds are underway. Nick Stuck with it. The Bears just dropped back into man-to-man defense. Roman Williams with it to Rowley. Rowley over to Mason Johnson. This is the starting 5 that started the game. Nick Stuck over to the corner. Matthew Snare open from 3, no good. Rebound goes to the Bears. Rucker, 25 seconds to go. It's a 2-point game. And Wash U calls timeout with 21.7 to go. The shot clock is off. So that won't be a factor. Coach Pat Yuckham in his second season as head coach of the Washington University Bears has posted a 33-11 record. Coach Jason Zimmerman in his 13th season is the all-time winningest coach in Emory University men's basketball history with 230 wins against just 106 defeats. It's a credit to the Emory Eagles that they've been able to battle back. They were trailed by as many as 15. They never gave up. They just slowly chipped away. Several times they got the lead down to 7 or 6 or 5. They just couldn't quite get it down to a 1-possession game. They finally did when they went on their 13-0 run. They took the lead at 68-64 for a 4-point lead, which is their biggest lead. And right now, they've got a 2-point lead with 21 seconds to go. It'll be interesting to see what Pat Yuckham decides to do. Does he go for a three-pointer on the road and try to get the win? Does he go for two and try to send it into overtime? On the day, they are 9 of 24, 37.5% from the home run arc. So Emory's going to pick him up man-to-man right from the get-go. The Bears get it at midcourt. 21 seconds to go. They get it into Nestor, their point guard. Nestor brings it across the timeline. Checked by Nick Stuck. Hardy drives in. Puts it up, no good, blocked, and it goes Emory's way. Nick Stuck with the basketball, gets the long rebound as it's tipped out. And he's going to go to the free throw line with an opportunity to put Emory up by 4 if he can hit them both. Nick Stuck, who's played just an outstanding game today, leading the team in scoring with 18 points. He's got 5 rebounds. He's got 3 assists. He's 2 of 4 from the home run arc. From the free throw line, he's 4 of 5. Hits the first to make it 3. It's 71-68. And now this is the big one to ice it. Hits him, no, it's in and out, no good. The Bears with a chance. They're only down 3. Nestor brings it down. They give it to Nolan. It's lost. It's on the ball. There's a mad scramble, and the ball game is over. They call a jump ball, but the arrow is going Emory's way. There's 0-0-0 on the score clock. Is the game over? Are they going to put time back on the clock? If they do, it should be Emory's basketball. They're going to put 1.5 seconds back on the clock. 71-68 your score. Nick Stuck missed the second free throw. The Bears came down but couldn't get a shot off. We've got a timeout called. It's going to be Emory basketball. The arrow is pointing Emory's way with 1.5 seconds to go in this basketball game. The clock actually ran down to 0-0-0. The officials decided to put some time back on the clock and said there was a jump ball. The arrow, I'm looking at it, pointing Emory's way. And we'll see what'll transpire. What a game by Nick Stuck. 19 points now. 3 assists, 6 rebounds. He's really taken charge of this team. The long rebound on the Bears' last shot was tipped out to him. He dribbled down. He was fouled. He hit the first to give Emory a 3-point lead. Misfired on the second with 7 seconds to go. So for Emory, it's Roman Williams, Mason Johnson, Lawrence Rowley, Nick Stuck, and Matthew Snare, the original starting 5. There appears to be a foul away from the ball. It appears to be on Jack Nolan, and it appears they might have just given the technical foul to Pat Yuckham. And they have. So Roman Williams will go to the free throw line and shoot, and then there's going to be, he missed on that one. He was fouled away from the ball as Emory was trying to get the ball in. And then there'll be the technical foul shots. Made that one. Roman Williams with 9 points now. And it's going to be, I guess those were the technical fouls, and now he's going to shoot the 1-and-1. Emory by 4. It's looking good for Emory. Hits that one. 11 points now for Roman Williams. He didn't have his best shooting night today, but boy, he's hitting some big free throws here. Misfires there, and that's going to be the ball game. Emory's going to win this one 73-68. A game where they came storming back in the second half. They trailed by